Hello everybody, this is Ray and this is another week of lessons. Okay, so this week I decided I would dive a little bit more into the follow-up emails on your autoresponder. It's very important that you have these follow-up emails to stay in contact with your prospects and just to create a relationship and to give news as it comes along or that you want to pass on to them. Now, questions have come up, how often should I send out emails? And I think in the last tutorial, I told you, you start out, with the first one immediately. As soon as they sign up, you send them a follow-up message saying, hey, welcome to my, newsletter or website or whatever you're promoting. And, give them a thank you, and that they will be seeing plenty more information coming their way. Now, I suggest calling this a newsletter. Now, whether you make a weekly newsletter, a monthly newsletter, bi-weekly, bi-monthly, quarterly, annually, it's up to you. I suggest once a week. Okay, so I'm going to go through a template that I have made for doing this. It's very simple. Fill in the blanks, and we're going to be doing it with my GetResponse autoresponder, which is my autoresponder of choice. You can use whatever one you want. Also, I just want to tell everybody that anything that I put out here on my videos, you can go to rayalbert.com and you can go to the resource page, and all the resources that I provide in my videos are there. Then you can get them for free. Okay, so with that said, let's get started with the tutorial. All right. Hello folks, and welcome back to my desktop. And this tutorial is going to be how to publish an issue of your newsletter in 60 minutes or less. Now, there's two approaches, or there's two things that we're going to cover in this approach to publishing your newsletters. And the first part is going to be the development part, and then the delivery part. So we're going to set you up today, and I'm going to walk you through the steps to publish your first newsletter. And so the first part is going to be the development, of course. And in this part, we're actually going to prepare the newsletter with all its various components. And so before I begin to explain each element of the newsletter, I want to give you a quick snapshot of what your newsletter is going to look like when you have completed it. So as you can see, in the first part here is going to be the top part of your newsletter. It's going to be the name of your newsletter, your slogan or tagline, and it should be inserted here. You don't need a slogan or a tagline or a subheading, but it's good to have one to sort of catch the interest of your readers. And so your name is going to go here as the publisher, and the date script goes here. Now, I'll talk about the date script when we actually get into creating the newsletter, but it's just something that your autoresponder provides for you, so that in a year from now, when you have another sign up, they look at the date and it's not December of 2002. It's going to keep up with the date. So anytime a new person signs up for your newsletter, they're going to get the very first one, and it's going to have the date that they actually do this. Alright, so now we're going to go down a little bit. Okay, so then if you go down a little further, you're going to say in this issue, and it's going to go down, and you're going to have your personal notes, featured article, and question and answer. Now, you can get these questions or answers either from your blog, people calling in or contacting you with questions, and you give them an answer, or you could just make up an answer by some of the questions that you're going to be answering. And then in the next part, you're going to have your sponsors ad. Now, this is space that you could rent to publishers, and but you can make more money by actually advertising a product that you're affiliated with, depending on what your niche is and what the newsletter is all about and what your website's all about. And you would, put in like a feature article or something like that. Then, next, when you go down here to your personal notes, you're going to share some news, and then your article title will go here. Then you're going to write your article, and then this is where your question and answer title goes to, and you're going to answer the question. So then after you answer the question, next is going to be the bottom part, or your copyright. Your business name or personal name goes here, all rights reserved, with your www.domain, whatever it is. Okay, so that's the general layout that we're going to use, and this is basically what your email letter is going to look like. Now, firstly, let me just explain. We're going to publish your email series as a text newsletter. Okay, and some people, they publish their newsletters with HTML format and graphs and so forth. And then others, they just send out notice to publish them, at their websites or blogs. Instead of doing some of these other things, we're going to keep things as simple as possible and publish your newsletter as a text newsletter. You'll simply copy the completed newsletter after inputting your specific comment or content into the template referred to above. Okay, so it's all a copy paste thing. And then secondly, I formatted the template into a 60 character wide formatting, which is easy to read. And so make sure when you're typing your newsletter that you have hard returns in the appropriate spot. And what I mean by hard returns is that you make sure you keep in that context of 60 characters wide. So if you have one word that's just out of the 60 character box by even 3 or 4 letters, you want to do what they call a hard return by hitting the enter button or scrolling across till it goes down to the next line, so that you keep within that 60 character width. And then thirdly, the content and language needs to be evergreen. And what that means is that when you talk about things, when you're writing about stuff, you don't want it to be dated. For instance, if you're typing in, wow, this is exciting that America has, elected, the first black president of the United States. Well, at the time, the news is relevant, but in 20 years from now or 10 years from now, it's not going to matter a hill of beans. So when you're writing stuff, you want to make sure that the content will be relevant, 5 years from now, and not be, something that is dated. So that's what that evergreen means. So anyway, the fourth thing is that, subscribers who join, they start with issue 1. So it's going back to the number 3 there, keeping the language needs to be evergreen. It's the same thing. Your first, when they subscribe and they get to your first issue, you don't want it to be a dated issue. They won't pay attention to you, and they would think it's outdated and just ignore it. So you want to make sure that everything is evergreen, as we said in the third part. Okay, everybody, we're in my Get Response account here, and it's important to make sure before you start writing these newsletters that you want to be in the right campaign. Remember, we talked about that before, being in the right campaign. And if you remember, I created this test campaign for our tutorials. And so you can just go down to the campaign, click it, and it's going to take you to your campaign. Okay. Now, as you can see, it's trying to get me to do this thing again. And as you can see, now we are in the right campaign, which is test 856. Now, you want to go to your messages and you want to manage your autoresponders, because remember, we started this autoresponder last time. And in the autoresponder, there is no messages. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to create a new. Now this is setting up your list like we talked about before. So you're going to create new. And then you're going to, this is going to be the interval, okay? And it's all going to be time-based, all right? So what you're going to do is you're going to set your interval, and this is going to be on day 0. This is going to be the day that they sign up. They actually sign up, day 0. Okay, and make sure again that you're in the right campaign. You want to send the message immediately and any day of the week. Okay, then you come down to this part here. Now what are you going to name this newsletter? I'm just going to put, you know, newsletter number 1. Okay, now what you're going to do is you want to create a new email. Okay, you can choose previous messages that you have done, but we're going to start by creating a new email. Okay, now the message name. Now this message name, it appears in your autoresponder. Nobody else sees this, but just in case they do, you don't never want to put anything up there that you don't want anybody else to see. So you would name it something friendly, like whatever your newsletter is going to be, a welcome letter, right? So you're gonna, I'm gonna name this welcome to my, I'm just going to put newsletter. You put whatever your campaign is, like if you know, it's an internet, making money on the internet, welcome to my newsletter, you know, making money online, or whatever it is. So, and now in the subject line, this is what people are going to see when you send out the newsletter. So in your subject line, it might say, you know, welcome. And then this is what I'm talking about, you're personalizing this. If you go down here, you're going to see you got first name, last name, whatever. Last name, however you want to put it. But I always put first name. Okay, welcome, whatever their first name is, and then you put a comma there, and whatever you want to say. This is your first newsletter. You know, whatever you want to put there. Okay, and it's going to be from whatever you set up in your autoresponder or your email account. This is what I set up with. Okay, and then you're going to go on to the next step. So now in this next step, you want to create your newsletter. And like I said before, it's going to be a text-based newsletter. It's not going to be something with, you know, fancy stuff like this. I mean, you can do that if you want to. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying that people, you would send something out like this if you were going to do a promotion, and you would send it out in a mass email, not in a sequential newsletter. Okay, it's just something that you would do special. Okay, so what we're going to do is a plain text email. Okay, so then this is your plain text email. Now remember, before I told you we had a template, so I'm going to go to the template right now. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go to my website, rayalbert.com, which I don't know if you could do. Okay, now when we get to rayalbert.com, all we have to do is go over here to the resources part. And then in the resources part, as you can see, I have all kinds of stuff in here. HostGator for hosting, website hosting. I also have a tutorial down here that you could watch if you want to. If you don't want to pay for hosting, which, you know, it's an okay alternative, but it's not as good as paid. Right here is for the get response, to join, and traffic methods. This is really good right here for articles. They're really cheap, a lot better than Fiverr. And of course, if you wanted to do some PLR products right here to join this, and you can get other people's products that they are actually selling and give you the rights to do. But anyway, here's a newsletter doc. So if I just click on that one time, it's going to ask me where I want to save it. So I'm just going to save it to my documents, and it's called newsletter template, and I save it to my documents, and then I'll just go to my documents folder, right here, and I'll go down to where the newsletter is. Look, it's in alphabetical order. And there it is, newsletter template. So I'm going to open up this file. Now if you notice, I got it all set up here. The top would be, the name of your newsletter, so it could be called, Ray Albert's newsletter, or Marketing with Ray newsletter, whatever you want it, and whatever your slogan is. Mine is, home business ideas, and of course my name would be here, Ray Albert, as the publisher. Now this is very important right here. This is a short code for your autoresponder and GetResponse. Now I don't know if any of the other ones use the same short code or not, but this right here will show the date that they actually get the letter. So when they sign up, it don't matter if it's 5 years from now. Remember, we talked about Evergreen. It's going to show the date that they signed up here in issue 1, and that's very important. Also, hi first name. This is another short code that GetResponse gives you in the personal section, but I got this all laid out for you here. Okay, all you have to do is just highlight everything. It looks really long here, but when you get it in the template, you'll see it's not really that long. Okay, and then just right mouse click it, copy it, and then go back to your GetResponse letter here, and you just left mouse click and you paste it in there. Boom. Okay, there you go. So now you have everything in there. It's all centered and everything. So all you need to do is change the stuff. So you would put, whatever you want in there. I would put Ray Albert. Oops. Newsletter, right? Just make sure you want to center that. Okay. Practical tips to help you increase your revenue. I'll just put down here home business ideas, and of course, make sure you center it again. Okay. I might as well finish this part here. And I'd be the publisher. And the date you keep that way, it's going to be issue 1, and the rest will stay the same. Okay, so I'm not going to change anything here. So here you of course would want to change whatever it is that you are going to, like this is the short table of contents here, and it would be, Ray's notes and news, visit my blog for more stuff, my feature article, whatever the article was going to be about, question and A. So this is a template that you can use for your newsletters. Okay, here is where you would put your sponsored material in here. I advise that you put in your own affiliate stuff in here. So if you were doing PLR products, if you were doing buying sneakers or whatever, you would promote it right here. And so then you would go to Ray's notes and news, and so welcome to the first issue, and of course that would be the first issue that your prospects that opted in would see. Okay, and so then that would be the welcome letter, and then you would go down here. This would be the question and answers. How can I increase my affiliate commissions? And it says there are a variety of ways, blah blah blah, and any of these things will allow you to. And notice how I tease them on, and I just give them enough, and they could go down here to this link to actually get this ebook. And it's always good to have a PS, visit my blog, and whatever your blog's address is, and then PPS. You could even do another pitch right here for another affiliate product, and then of course at the bottom this is your footer here, copyright, publishing, and you can change all this. Okay, when this is all done, you go to next step. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to save and publish this message. Okay, now this is the message that they're going to get on the first day that they sign up. Now say you want to give them another message on day 2, so you just click on that block right there, and it's going to be the first day after they opted in. So when they opt in, it's day 0. Day 1 would be the day after they opted in. Okay, now if you wanted this to be day 3, say you wanted to you wanted to space it out a couple of days, all you do is go here and you put day 3, or you could put day 2 or whatever. But I want to show you the beauty of this here, right here, of this template that I did, and you're in the same campaign right here, and you want them to get their email the same time they opted in, because that's the time that they're on the internet, most likely. Okay, so now you're going to name your second message, whatever it's going to be. Say, tips on finding, the best shoes, or the best fishing equipment, or the best golf tips, or whatever your niche is. Okay, you're going to type this in here. I'm just going to put, opt-ins, just for ha-has. Now, when you go to choose a message, so you can create a new email, but you already have the template, right? So why change it, right? So you go to choose a message, okay, so the messages that you want to do is you want to go to the autoresponder to get the message that you just did. Okay, so now this is the message that we just created. Welcome to my new my newsletter. But this is the one we just created. Okay, so we choose this message. Okay, now you already got the message. The message is right here. Okay, and all you have to do now is edit that message. And so as you can see, welcome to my newsletter, and you could put number if it was like the second newsletter. Okay, welcome so and so, and whatever your newsletter is about, or you could just put newsletter 2, right? So they know it's from you. They know they read the first newsletter, so now they want to see what the next newsletter is. So you go to the next step, and bang, you got all this stuff in here, your newsletters, right? You don't need to change none of this stuff here, because all this stays the same, but except for this is going to change to issue 2, right? And you're going to change this stuff, whatever it might be, and so on and so forth. You might change your sponsor thing. You might keep it the same, whatever you're trying to promote there, and you're going to change your body here, your message body, and you're also going to change your Q&A, and your PS and all that other stuff. You're going to leave the bottom here the same, because it's not going to change. But that's the the beautiful thing about this template. And then you would say, go to next step, and you would save this opt-in message. Okay, so now that it's saved here, you want to check out to see if it's working right. So you go to send a test message, and you're going to send it to your email address. Okay, so it says it's been sent out. So I'm going to go to my email. Okay, so I'm going to look in the junk mail. Always look in your junk mail if you can't find it in the inbox. Okay, so here it is in the junk mail. So you would click on that. You would put, not junk mail or whatever. But we're just, seeing the message, making sure that it comes out right. Okay, so here it is. And if you notice here, it's got today's date, which you can't see it on my computer, but it is the 17th of December 2016, and issue 2. And hi, Ray Albert, that's me. And as you can see, that's the message right there, and all the links work. So that's what it would look like once you sent it to somebody. Okay? So that's just a short and sweet newsletter. So with all that said, folks, I hope that you learned something about this newsletter. You can, download my newsletter template at rayalbert.com and just go to the resources section and scroll down and you'll find it. Like I said, I always put stuff in the resource section, so you might want to check back there often. And like I said, thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something. If you have any comments, just please put them below. If you want to, please visit my website at rayalbert.com. There's other tutorials there that you can watch, and I also have good business opportunities that are legitimate, and they don't offer, or they don't claim, get rich quick in 30 days with one push button. There's no such thing. Anyway, Godspeed, God bless, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.